regarding rank correlation coefficient. So it goes. It says that a researcher was interested in determining the performance of small businesses in Kampala suburbs. He collected data on daily sales and profit from a sample kiosk from each of the suburbs as summarized in the table below. So this is the table, okay? So required, use Spearman's Rank Correlation Coefficient method to determine the coefficient of correlation between the sales and the profit. Okay, then after Roman 2, they're asking us to comment on the relationship between the sales and the profit. This looks pretty straightforward, okay? Spearman's Rank Correlation Coefficient. Now for this one also, let me just quote the formula here. Spearman's Rank Correlation Coefficient is given by Spearman's Rank Correlation Coefficient is going to be given by 1 minus 6 times the summation of the difference squared, divide that by n into n squared minus 1. That's the formula. Now these formulas are definitely normally given in the booklet, in the formula booklet when you're in the exam, but it's also nice to be able to memorize it, okay? So the value of n are the number of observations. So let's get to it. The number of observations, how many are they here? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the number of observations here are 10. So it means our value of n here is 10. Then also in this formula, what we need to deal with is also the d. Now the d here, the value of d here is the differences in rank, the d squared. D is the difference in rank. D is more like rank difference. Okay, so now whatever we are going to draw here, we are actually trying to find the value of d. We shall find the value of d, plug it in there, and then the rest is a walkover. So how do we get the value of d? We're supposed to get the rank for sales, okay? We also get the rank for the profits, because this is it. The thing is, we want to determine the coefficient, the correlation between sales and profit. So it is the sales, we get the ranks for sales, the ranks for profit, we subtract those ranks, and then after subtracting those ranks, then we are able to find the value of d. Now, take note that how do we get these ranks? I think I'm going to just build on this table to save time. I'm just going to extend this table. Of course, in the exam, you're having your separate answer sheets, and definitely you should draw this afresh. Of course, you draw it very fast to save time. You draw the table, but I'm going to take advantage of this and just going to extend this table and add a few more columns. Our goal here is to find the ranks. Okay, so that is what I'm doing, like that, this, and then that, and then this. Yeah, I think that's it. So remember, here we are interested in getting our value of d. Then we square it, because remember, in our formula down here, if you're to look at it, we are interested, we need to get this value, d squared, and this is the journey we are taking here. So we are going to need to find here with the sales, we are going to find the rank for sales. Let me denote it like that, the rank for sales. Then here we have the rank for profits. I'm going to call it here rank for profit, like that. Then of course we are going to get our value of d here. Our value of d here is going to be the rank for sales minus the rank for profit. Then after getting our value of d, which is the difference in the ranks, then we get our value of d squared. And of course, after getting our value of d squared in this column, then down here we shall get the summation of d squared here. And then when we get the summation of the d squared down there, we shall come and substitute it there. We have our value of n, and then we are able to get our rank correlation as the answer. Okay, so let's get started with our calculations. Of course, with these kinds of numbers, we have to be we have to be careful. It is very easy to mess up, to make an error. Okay, so we are going to begin. What is our ranking? Now when we are going to look at the sales column. Now we can choose these rankings. Either we can rank these numbers by beginning from the biggest to the smallest, or we can begin from the smallest to the biggest. Either whatever order you choose, you will be able to get the same answer. So if you're saying that you're going to use your ranking, you're going to follow from the smallest to the biggest, make sure that that is the order you follow. Smallest to the biggest for the rank for sales, smallest to the biggest for the rank for profit. If you decide to do it the other way around, and you say you're going to make your rankings from the biggest to the smallest, make sure that it is uniform both for the two parameters. For if from smallest to biggest, make sure it is the same. Do not say you're going to come and rank sales from smallest to biggest, then you rank profit from biggest to smallest. That will be a contradiction and you will end up getting wrong answers. So what do we choose here? Let me begin with, let me begin from the biggest to the smallest. Okay, let me choose that, the biggest to the smallest. So I'm going to come to the sales. Of course, as you can see here, so I'll come through here and look which one is the biggest. It is this one. So this is rank number 1. It's the biggest. That is 546. Then moving on to the next one, we have 400. So which one is the second biggest here? We have 487, we have 484, we have 485. No, I think before we go to the 400s, we still have 500 here. This is the second. Okay, then we move on to the third. The third biggest here is 487. That's the third biggest. Then the fourth, I think from the 400s, we have 485 here is the fourth. Then we have 484 here, which is the fifth right there. Then we move on. Of course, the ones that I finish, let me mark them here. Okay, then let's look for the next. After 400, let's look for the 300s. The 300s, which one is the biggest? This one is the sixth. It's the the next. Then we have the seventh. That's 396. That's 317 here. That is the seventh right there. Then we have the eighth, where it's the eighth. 264 here. This is done. 264 is the eighth. Then we have the ninth, which is 236. Then the 10th. So here we have ranked from the biggest to the smallest. Okay, so we're going to do the same for the rankings for profit. Which are these ones? We finished these ones. Okay, so the ones for profit, again, we look for which one is the biggest. From here, it's this one. It's the biggest. Let me put a dot here. That is the first, the ranking. So after the 100, which one is next? The next one, I think, is this one here of 84,000. Okay, this is the second, right? Then we have the third from 84. Do we have any 80s? No. Do we have 70s? Right, 78 here is the third. Then we have the fourth. Let's go after, of course, this one is done. Then where is the fourth? From 78 we have, do you have any other 70s? No. We have 60s. Yeah, we have 65,000 here. Yeah, we actually, now there's this thing here, we have 65,000 and 65,000. So now we are having two numbers that are carrying the same. Remember, we are ranking. We have the first rank 1, 2, 3, the third. So now we have two numbers that are the same. We have 65,000 up here, 65,000 here. So now it means that either any of them can either be the fourth and the fifth. They are two, because they are two, it's the fourth and the fifth. So how do we handle that? We are going to come here. So the fourth position and the fifth position are having the same number. So we add them and divide by, how many are they? They are two. So they are two. So it's going to be 5 plus 4, which is going to be 9 out of 2, which is going to give us 4.5. So because it has given us 4.5, so that 4.5 is going to be it is going to be for these things that look the same. So it means that we have the first, the second, the third, then this one is 4.5, then up here is also 4.5. That's how we treat it. Now let's assume let me create another scenario here. Okay, let us assume that there were three numbers that were having the rank. Let's say the fourth number plus the fifth number plus the sixth number. They all had the same rank, like they are all having the same number. These ranks, the fourth rank, the fifth rank, the sixth rank, like there are three numbers here that are looking the same. Again, we are going to add them and divide them by how many are they? There are 1, 2, 3 ranks. That's how we do it. So this would be 11, 15, so it would be 15 over 3, which is 5. And so it means that we would come and put 5, 5, 5 in all the three. This is just a scenario I have created. Okay, so let's move on with our number. So it means that here, the rank, here we have created the rank for the first, the second, the third, the fourth and fifth ranks have been shared out. So now we are looking for the sixth one. This one is done, 65,000. This one is also done. So we are looking for the sixth one. The sixth one is this one here, 57. Sixth one. So it's the seventh. From 50s we get to 40s. There are no 40s, we get to 30s. I think this is the seventh right here. No, from 57 we have 50. This is the seventh right there. It's there. Then we have the eighth. Where is the eighth? The eighth is right here. Then where is the ninth? Right there. And then we have the 10th. Again, here Mia used from biggest to smallest, but you can also use from smallest to biggest, and you should be able to get the same answer. So now the rest is just arithmetic. We start subtracting this minus that. 1 minus 4.5 is 3.5, and the 3.5 is a negative. 3 minus 1 is 2, 10 minus 10 is 0, this is also 0, 8 minus 9 is negative 1, 9 minus 8 is negative 1, 6 minus 3 is 3, 2 minus 2 is 0, 5 minus 6 is negative 1, 4 minus that is negative 0.5. So we start 3.5 squared, that is now the d squared, is going to give us 12.25. This is going to give us 2 squared is 4, this is 0, this is 0, this is 1, this is 1. I hope you know what we are doing. We're just squaring this one, d squared. 3 squared is 9, then this is definitely 0, this is also 1, then this squared is 0.25. And when we add up all these ones, we're able to end up with the summation of d as 28.5. 28.5 is our summation for d squared. So now that we have gotten our 28.5, then we shall come and, substitute here. We shall simply come here and say this is going to become 1 minus 6. Summation of d squared, what is summation of d squared? It is 28.5. So it's going to be 6 times 28.5 over, that is our value of n is 10, into n squared, which is 10 squared minus 1, like that. So that's how it's going to become. And so what do we have here? So it's going to become 1 minus, now whatever is inside that bracket is going to give us 171. Divide that by 990. And what do we end up with? We end up with 0.8273. So 0.8273 becomes our rank correlation coefficient, our Spearman's rank correlation coefficient. So we've finished Roman 1. Now they're asking us comment on the relationship between the sales and the profits. Now, of course, our comment on the relationship between the sales and the profit is going to depend on, the rank correlation. Where does it fall? Now, unfortunately, in our formula booklet, these categorizations are not there. So you're going to have to memorize them. They are not so complicated to memorize. Let me write it down here for some of you. When we are doing the chart we are going to follow, when we are trying to comment on the rank correlation coefficient, we begin from 0 to 0.29, okay? Then we come to 0.3 to 0.49, then we go to 0.5 to 0.69. Are you seeing that it's easy to remember? 0.7 to 0. Now when it comes to 7, 0.79. Then we have 0.8 up to 1.0. This is how it is. So here it's going to be very low. If your answer lies here, it's going to be very low relationship, okay? Or call it very weak. Here it is just a low relationship or weak. Here when it is there, it's fair or moderate. Here the relationship is high. Here the relationship is very high. So from that, if you look at your answer, where does it fall? You're going to realize that your answer 0.8273 is falling in this bracket. So what does that mean? When they say tell us comment on the relationship between the sales and profits, so to comment on this, you'll come and conclude by saying that the relationship between sales and profit is very high. That is what it means. So that is your 1 mark in that question here, up here. And they say comment on the relationship between sales and profits. So because it is from the rank correlation that you're able to determine the comment. So the relationship is very high. You can say that the sales and the data between sales and the profit, their correlation is very high, or it has a very high correlation coefficient. Yeah. So again, it's important that this is memorized. They never, it's rare that they'll give you this